Why is the mama in Javon's bed? I don't think there's nothing wrong with nobody sleeping in the kid's bed. What I think is wrong is when you see an evil motherfucker that posted. Why would you show the kids that you in their bed? That's the weirdest shit I ever seen in my life. It's like, why would you?
The internet did not just wake up messy. It woke up in full chaos mode after Karlissa Saffold and Jaidyn Alexis basically said, "Oh, so we exposing kids' spaces now?" Bet, because somehow, someway, Nevaeh's mom decided it was a great idea to post pictures from inside Blueface's son's room. And yeah, the internet immediately clocked that as a level of boldness nobody was prepared for. And when I say bold, I don't mean cute bold. I mean, why are we crossing boundaries like this? Bold, I mean, who gave you access? Bold, because this wasn't just a selfie in the living room or a casual background cameo. No, this was straight up inside the child's personal space, posted online like it was a tour video. And the moment those images hit social media, everything went left. Now here's where it gets spicy. Because Karlissa didn't just respond. She snapped like someone unplugged her patience and threw it out the window. And Jaidyn? Oh, she didn't sit quietly either. She slid right into the chaos like, yeah, we not about to act normal about this. Suddenly, it wasn't just about pictures anymore. It became a full-blown war about boundaries, respect, and who's really doing too much. And let's be honest, this whole situation started feeling less like a family issue and more like a reality show episode that got leaked early. Fans were picking sides, receipts were flying, and everybody suddenly became a detective analyzing angles, backgrounds, and energy like it was a crime scene. Because something about this didn't sit right, and the internet knew it. But here's the real question nobody could ignore. Was this just a harmless post that got blown out of proportion? Or was this a calculated move that triggered something way deeper behind the scenes? Because the way Karlissa and Jaidyn reacted, oh, this wasn't just about pictures anymore. And what came next? Yeah, nobody saw that coming. The moment those pictures started circulating, the timeline didn't just react. It exploded like somebody dropped a match in a room full of gasoline. Because let's be real, this wasn't just another random social media post that people scroll past into seconds. This hit different. The second fans realized those images were taken inside Blueface's son's room, everything immediately turned into a full-blown investigation. People were zooming in, screenshotting, analyzing every corner like it was a hidden Easter egg in a Marvel movie. And the energy. Oh, it shifted fast. One minute it was confusion. The next minute it was straight up side-eye. Because fans started asking the same question over and over again. How did Nevaeh's mom even get access to that space in the first place? Like, this isn't a public area. This isn't the kitchen. This is a child's room. And once that realization hit, the internet went from curious to uncomfortable real quick. Now here's where things started getting messy in that you can't look away kind of way. Because instead of the situation calming down, it started pulling in more names, more opinions, and way more drama than anybody expected. And right on cue, Karlissa Saffold stepped in. And when she stepped in, oh, she did not come to whisper. She came in loud, direct. And with that "I'd been waiting for this moment" energy, Karlissa basically made it clear that she was not feeling the situation at all. And not in a subtle, polite, let's handle this privately type of way. No, this was public, unapologetic, and dripping with frustration. The kind of reaction that instantly lets you know this isn't the first time something like this has rubbed her the wrong way. It felt deeper. Like this wasn't just about a few pictures. This was about respect, boundaries, and a line that she believed had just been crossed. And just when you thought it couldn't get any louder. Here comes Jaidyn Alexis sliding into the situation like, oh, we speaking on this? Say less, because she didn't stay neutral. She didn't stay silent. She jumped right into the conversation. And suddenly it felt like a tag team situation. Karlissa and Jaidyn on one side, and the internet trying to figure out what side they even on. Meanwhile, fans weren't just watching. They were choosing teams like it was the finals of a championship game. Some people were saying, wait, maybe this is being blown out of proportion. Maybe it's not that serious. But others, oh, they were not having that take. They were calling it invasive, disrespectful, and completely unnecessary. And the louder those opinions got, the more the situation kept spiraling. Then came the receipts culture. You already know how the internet gets. Old clips started resurfacing. Past tensions started getting brought back into the spotlight. People were connecting dots that may or may not have even been related. But once that momentum starts, there's no stopping it. Suddenly, what started as one post turned into a timeline of events, a storyline, a whole narrative being built in real time. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Because this situation didn't happen in a vacuum. There's already history here. There's already tension between different sides. So when something like this happens, it doesn't get treated like an isolated moment. It gets treated like the next chapter in an ongoing saga. And that's exactly how the internet framed it. Like episode 7 of a series that refuses to end. But here's where things really took a turn. Because while fans were arguing, reacting, and basically turning this into a digital courtroom, the silence from certain people started getting loud. And you know how that goes. When someone doesn't respond, people start assuming, speculating, creating theories out of thin air. And those theories, yeah, they started getting wild. Some were saying this was intentional. Others were saying it was harmless. But the more people talked, the less clear the situation actually became. It was like every answer created 3 more questions. And instead of calming down, the tension just kept building. Like a pressure cooker waiting to explode. And the craziest part, this was still just the beginning. Because what started as pictures had now turned into a full-blown narrative war. And behind the scenes, oh, you already know conversations were happening, sides were forming, and emotions were running high. But what nobody expected was how fast this situation was about to escalate from messy to straight-up chaotic. Because the moment Karlissa Saffold and Jaidyn Alexis made their reactions loud and clear, the internet didn't just listen, it amplified everything to maximum volume. Suddenly, this wasn't just a family issue anymore. This became content, discourse, memes, and chaos all rolled into one explosive situation. Now let's talk about the reactions, because oh, they were everywhere. TikTok, on fire, Twitter, a battlefield, Instagram, straight-up commentary arena. People were stitching videos, making dramatic reenactments, adding background music like this was a full Netflix documentary. And the captions. Why is she in the child's room? This feels weird. Somebody lying, like? The internet really turned into a jury overnight. But then came the plot twist energy. Because some fans started flipping the narrative and saying, wait, what if this isn't as deep as y'all making it? And just like that, boom, divide created. You had one side screaming bundries were crossed, and the other side like, y'all dragging it. It's not that serious. And the back and forth. Who you? It was giving WWE SmackDown meets family group chat meltdown. And let's not ignore the meme culture, because the memes, oh, they were disrespectfully funny. People were posting screenshots of the room like it was a Zillow listing. Now accepting applications for unwanted guests, and others compared it to a Marvel multiverse crossover. How did she unlock this level? Like, the internet was dragging, joking, theorizing all at the same time, and somehow making it even more chaotic. Meanwhile, behind all the jokes, the tension kept rising. Because once you put kids in the conversation, everything gets serious real quick. And that's exactly why Karlissa Saffold's reaction hit so hard. It wasn't just loud for the sake of being loud. It felt personal, protective, like she was drawing a line and saying, this is where it stops. And that energy, it made people pay attention. Then you had Jaidyn Alexis adding fuel to the fire, but in a different way. Her presence alone shifted the tone. Because now it wasn't just one voice speaking out. It felt like a united front. And the internet loves a team dynamic. Immediately, people started framing it like sides were forming, alliances, camps. Like this was some Zeus Network reunion special waiting to happen. And right in the middle of all this chaos, Nevaeh's side became the center of speculation. Because while everyone else was reacting loudly, people started asking, what's her response? And when that response wasn't immediate, oh, you already know what happened. The silence turned into noise. People started creating narratives out of thin air, like she's avoiding it, she knew what she was doing. This was planned, now whether that's true or not. That's the thing nobody actually knows. But the internet doesn't wait for facts. It runs on vibes, assumptions, and whatever sounds the most dramatic. And once those narratives started spreading, they moved fast, like wildfire, like a rumor that refuses to die. And just when you thought the situation couldn't get more layered, old tensions started resurfacing again. People brought up past arguments, previous shade, subtle comments that didn't mean much at the time but suddenly felt very relevant. It was like the internet went into archive mode, digging up anything that could add fuel to the storyline. At this point, the whole situation didn't even feel like reality anymore. It felt like a crossover episode between Keeping Up with the Kardashians, WWE, and a Zeus backstage fight, dramatic, unpredictable, and slightly chaotic in a way that keeps you glued to the screen. Because every time you thought it would calm down, boom, another reaction, another post, another opinion would drop and restart the fire. And here's the part that really had people side-eyeing everything. The more the situation escalated, the less it felt accidental. Some fans started questioning the timing, the posting, the energy behind it. Like, was this really just a random moment captured and shared? Or was there intention behind it? Because the way everything unfolded, it felt almost too perfectly chaotic. Meanwhile, influencers and commentary pages started picking it up, adding their own spins, their own dramatic narrations, turning it into full-blown segments. And once that happens, yeah, it's no longer just drama. It's a trending topic, a storyline, a moment that's officially gone viral. And just when you thought the chaos had peaked, whispers started circulating about what was happening behind the scenes. Private conversations, heated exchanges, people unfollowing each other, subtle shade being thrown without names being mentioned. You know, the kind of tension that doesn't need confirmation because you can feel it through the screen. But here's the kicker. While the internet was busy turning this into entertainment, the actual fallout, oh, that was just getting started. Because when emotions run this high, when lines feel crossed, when trust feels questioned, things don't just go back to normal overnight. And what came next? Let's just say, the situation didn't just stay online. It started affecting relationships, shifting dynamics, and exposing cracks that people didn't even know existed. By the time the dust should have settled, it didn't. It actually got thicker, heavier, louder. Because what started as one controversial post had now snowballed into a full-blown emotional fallout that nobody could ignore anymore. And the energy, oh, it shifted from messy entertainment to something way more personal, way more tense, and honestly, way more unpredictable. Because behind all the memes, the reactions, and the viral commentary, real relationships were being tested in real time. And that's where things got uncomfortable. You could feel it. The tone online started changing. Less jokes, more tension, less sarcasm, more side eyes. Like everybody suddenly realized, wait, this might actually be deeper than we thought. Now let's talk about Karlissa Saffold, because her reaction didn't just disappear after part 2. If anything, it echoed louder. The more people talked, the more her stance felt solidified. She wasn't backing down. She wasn't softening her tone. She stood on what she said, like, yeah, I meant every word, and that kind of energy. It doesn't calm situations down. It locks them in place. And then there's Jaidyn Alexis, who stayed present in the conversation in that subtle but not subtle way. Not overly loud, but definitely not silent either. The kind of presence that keeps the pressure on without needing to scream. And together, that dynamic. It kept the spotlight right where it didn't want to leave. Meanwhile, the focus slowly started circling back to Nevaeh and her side. And that's where things got even more complicated. Because by now, the expectations were high. People wanted answers, explanations, clarity, something to balance out the narrative that had already taken over the internet. But instead of a clear resolution, what people got was more confusion, more silence in certain moments, and more questions than actual answers. And you already know how the internet handles confusion. It fills in the blanks fast. Theories started evolving like plot twists in a Netflix finale. Some people believed this was all blown out of proportion. Others were convinced there was something deeper happening behind the scenes that hadn't fully come to light yet. And the more those theories grew, the harder it became to separate fact from assumption. But here's where the real shift happened. The conversation stopped being just about the pictures and started being about trust, about access, about who's allowed in certain spaces and why. Because at the end of the day, that's what people couldn't shake. How did this even happen? And once that question sits in the air long enough, it starts changing how people look at everything else. And let's not ignore the subtle moves that fans picked up on. Social media activity slowed down in certain areas. Interactions changed. Energy shifted. You know that unspoken tension where nobody says anything directly, but everybody feels it. Yeah, that. It was giving something is definitely going on behind closed doors, and we're only seeing 20% of it. Then came the unexpected twist that nobody really saw coming. Some fans started stepping back from the drama entirely. Not because it wasn't entertaining, oh, it definitely was, but because it started feeling too real, too personal, too messy in a way that didn't feel like just content anymore. And when your audience starts pulling back like that, that's when you know the situation hit a different level. But don't get it twisted. For every person stepping back, there were 10 more leaning in, watching closer, analyzing harder, waiting for the next update like it was a season finale drop. Because at this point, the story wasn't just about what happened. It was about what was going to happen next. And here's the final twist that left everybody sitting there like, wait, hold on. Because just when it felt like the situation had reached its peak, a new layer started quietly forming. Conversations behind the scenes reportedly getting more serious. Lines being drawn more clearly. People reassessing who they trust, who they allow around, and what boundaries actually look like moving forward. And the scariest part, none of that is happening publicly. It's happening where cameras aren't rolling, where posts aren't being made, where real decisions are being shaped. Which means everything we've seen so far, that might just be the surface. Because if this situation has proven anything, it's that what looks like just drama on the internet can actually be the beginning of something much bigger. Something that shifts relationships, changes dynamics, and leaves people looking at each other differently than they did before. So now the real question isn't what happened, it's what happens next. Because the way this story is unfolding, oh, this is not the ending. This feels like the calm right before another storm. And if that storm hits, yeah, the internet might not be ready for what comes after. Now listen, if you made it this far, you already know this situation is messier than a group chat that accidentally got screenshotted and leaked to the whole internet. Like, be honest, you thought this was just gonna be a quick little post-drama, right? Yeah, same. And look at us now, deep in a full-blown saga with plot twists, side characters, and enough tension to power a whole reality show season. So I need you to do me a favor. Don't just sit there silently judging through the screen like you're not invested. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Was this whole situation blown out of proportion? Or do you think lines were crossed that can't be uncrossed? Because I already know the comment section about to look like a courtroom with zero rules and everybody acting like a certified expert. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money, like it borrowed your charger and never gave it back. Like it posted pictures in your room without asking. Yeah, that kind of energy. Because if this story proved anything, it's that the internet stays undefeated when it comes to turning one moment into a full cinematic experience. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications, because let's be real. If this is how the story is unfolding right now, you already know the next update is gonna be even crazier. And trust me, you do not want to be the one hearing about it late like, wait, what happened? Nah, stay locked in. Stay ready, because over here, we don't just watch the drama. We break it down, flip it, analyze it, and serve it back hotter than it started. And if you thought this was wild, just wait until the next chapter drops. This is Celeb Sync, where the tea is never cold, the drama never sleeps, and the internet always has one more surprise waiting.